Українська асоціація футболу.
Підтримуємо українську армію, український народ та український спорт. Епіцентр. Разом до перемоги.
Єднаймося заради українських перемог. Мільйони українців – одна країна.
Хома – технічний спонсор національної збірної команди України з футболу.
Нації з перемоги. Ти такого гола поклав, суддя все скасував. Є, скажімо, таке смуток, розчарування від того рішення. Бо то ж суддя там через офсайд, очевидно, скасував гол.
Дякую за привітання. Слава Богу, що сьогодні вдалося виграти цей матч, тому що він був важливий. Перша гра завжди дуже важливо почати з перемоги. А на рахунок голу, звичайно, трохи розчарувався, що не зарахували, тому що перший гол за національну збірну ще який, але слава Богу, що ми сьогодні перемогли, здобули 3 очки, і це важливо.
Головний тренер національної команди України Олександр Петраков. Прошу ваші запитання, традиційно піднімати руку.
Dear colleagues, the head coach of the Ukrainian team, Alexander Petrakov, will be starting his press conference in a minute. As usual, if you have questions, please raise your hand and we'll take it from there.
Yes, please. Do we have any questions? Yes, please.
Наскільки ви задоволені тими змінами, які ви зробили в команді і що принесло позитивний результат?
Ну, ви розумієте, ми тільки 5-го грали. Дуже складний матч з Уельсом. Тому я вирішив, щоб не завдати шкоди хлопцям не завдати шкоди. Тим, що грали 5-го, щоб якусь травму вони не отримали. Не отримали ніяку травму, то я вирішив, щоб зіграли хлопці, які не грали, молоді хлопці. Вони були зі мною на зборах, тому я прийняв таке рішення. Я задоволений, що хлопці вийшли, зіграли, дебютували, багато хлопців на офіціальному рівні дебютували. Так що, скажімо так, будемо розбирати помилки, але я задоволеним самовіддачею хлопців молодих, самовіддачею, відношенням до гри. Ну і задоволений результатом, що перемогли. Це такий, скажімо, позитив після того, що трапилось, ви розумієте, з Уельсом. Скажімо так, ми перегорнули сторінку, не заглядуємо в минуле, а рухаємося далі вперед.
Basically, I decided to rest the players who had an extremely difficult game in Wales in order not to harm the boys who basically left everything on the football pitch back in Wales. I decided to field young players who needed to get some first-hand experience at big games. So I'm very happy they debuted, and they debuted with the win. And we'll look into some mistakes clearly which we had tonight. But overall, I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with their attitude and performance. It's a very positive thing that happened to our team, especially after a bitter result in Wales. We turn the page, we're going forward, and we look forward to our future.
Прошу ще запитання. More questions? Yes, please.
Запитання, що для вас значила ця перемога, надто, якщо взяти до уваги, що на трибунах було 3,5 тисячі українських вболівальників, які надзвичайно шалено раділи цьому успіху вашої команди?
Зараз такий час, ви ж бачили, що прийшли люди, які не знаходяться тут у вас, ви їх прийняли. До речі, я дуже дякую вас, Ірландію, що ви приютили наших жінок, дітей тут. Ну, а те, що вони раділи, знаєте, для них, я розумію їх, що всі хочуть додому. Наші жінки, діти, всі хочуть додому, але зараз не можуть їхати. Ну, хіба що ми зробили їх щасливими, ми дуже задоволені, що ми зробили щасливими ці 3,5 тисячі тут громадян наших.
Clearly, this is a very difficult time when people the Ukrainians came to see us playing in Ireland. Ukrainians who were accepted by this incredible hospitality by the Irish people. And you guys took our women, our children, who were basically risking their lives back in Ukraine. And I want to extend our gratitude to the whole of Ireland. And I understand those Ukrainians who were on the stands today, all they wanted to see is just a little bit of positivity from our team. But at the same time, they really longing to go home, go back to Ukraine. And we made them a little bit happier tonight. That is the major achievement in my view.
Okay, yes, please.
After you scored the goal tonight, you continued to play attacking football. Were you confident that you were a better team than Ireland and that you had a better quality and you were comfortable not having to defend too deeply?
Ви сьогодні грали доволі в атакувальному стилі. Ви продемонстрували атакувальний футбол проти Ірландії. Чи ви вважаєте, що збірна України краща в цьому плані, ніж Ірландія, тому що ви вирішили якось менше оборонятися, а більше атакувати?
Ну, що вам сказати? Я прищепляю команді атакуючий футбол, щоб нікого не боялися, моя команда. Щоб грали в атакуючий футбол. Це прищепляю. Хіба що ви сказали, що ми грали в атакуючий футбол, вам сподобалось, то мені теж дуже дякую за це, за оцінку нашого труда, нашого тренерського штабу і нашої команди. Тож дуже дякую, що ми граємо в атакувальний футбол. Мені це подобається.
I always advocate attacking football, and playing Ireland was not an exception. And I'm really pleased with what we showed on the pitch. And if you think that we're any good at attacking football, I thank you for your assessment. I truly liked what I saw on the pitch tonight, and I think we are on the right path.
Будь ласка, Андрій Тодос, ставте запитання, будь ласка.
Як ваші враження про гру Луніна? Це перший його сухий матч за довгий час.
Лунін.
Ну, я Андрія знаю з 15 років, де він народився, знаю його батька, мати добре знаю. Так що він для мене, знаєте, такий хлопець, як синок до мене. Так що я задоволений, що він зіграв офіційну гру, він зіграв на 0. Я його поздравив. Привітав його, Андрія. Ну, багато хлопців я привітав, підійшов, привітав. Це на офіційному рівні хлопці багато дебютували. Я вже зараз Сашко мені допоможе, скільки дебютувало хлопців. Лунін 1, Бондар на офіційному рівні 2, Попов 3, Качараба 4, Сирота 5, Піхальонок 6, Ігнатенко 7. Хто ще? Все?
Так, здається, все. Так.
7 чоловік сьогодні дебютувало на офіційному рівні за національну збірну. Я задоволений, щоб хлопці таку, знаєте, отримали впевненість. Вони були на зборах, готувалися, і тому я це зробив, довірив, і хлопці зробили це, я задоволений. Рухаємось далі.
The question from the Ukrainian media was, what's your assessment of the keeper, Lunin? That was his basically debut, and he kept clean sheets tonight. The coach, Petrakov, answered, I know Lunin since he was 15. I know his dad is basically like a son to me. I'm very happy that he kept clean sheet tonight, and it shows that he's fully ready to keep for Ukraine. And I congratulated not only Lunin with his debut, I want to emphasize that 7 players tonight debuted for a national team in a competitive game, and they got their confidence with their experience on the pitch. I fully trusted them, and I'm extremely happy with their performance and overall result.
Yes, please.
Could I ask, with a result like that and a performance like that, making 10 changes, what that will do for the confidence of the group that everyone is now playing a part and has played a part in the last week? And also, would you be tempted to go with that team again this coming weekend, and maybe we would see a different Ukraine team in terms of the starting 11 against Ireland next week?
Запитання. Ви зробили 10 змін у складі команди. Це явно принесло цій групі гравців певну впевненість у своїх силах. Чи ви так само збираєтесь поставити цих гравців вже цими вихідними на матч, зокрема на матч проти Ірландії? І чи ви збираєтесь дещо поміняти склад?
Коли будемо грати домашню гру у Польщі?
Yes.
Ну, це дожити треба ще. Це ще багато часу, треба дожити. Я вже так далеко не дивлюсь. Я вже живу, вранці проснувся, о, здоровий. Так що треба дожити. Як воно буде, завтра тренування буде. У нас ще гра 11-го з Арменією. Так що як там буде, ми побачимо. Ну, я тих хлопців сохранив, ви розумієте, чому я таке зробив. Я не мог ризикувати здоров'ям хлопців. Це повинно було грати 11 нових гравців. У мене один захворів хлопець. Едуард Соболь захворів, тому зіграв Миколенка. Миколенка я теж знаю з дитинства, так що я підійшов до нього, говорю: Віталій. Віталій сказав: Василю, все добре, я допоможу. Віталій зіграв. Здорово. Зіграв. Далі будемо дивитися, як буде там здоров'я, що чого. Так що, такі справи.
We'll wait and see. I can't really tell you about my decisions. I'm taking things one step at a time. I wake up in the morning and I'm healthy, and I carry on doing what I love doing. And I don't have those far-reaching plans as to the lineup, the squad, and all the rest of it. I will make my decision when time is right. We shall see. I couldn't risk the health of those players who played, again, like I said, a difficult game against Wales, and I decided to field, or I wanted to field, 11 new players. Unfortunately, it didn't work like that because, for instance, Eduard Sobol was poorly. I couldn't include him in the team. So I spoke to Vitaly Mikolenko, who I knew since he was a boy, basically. And despite the fact that he played that extremely difficult game in Cardiff, he said, I'll help the team, not to worry. I'll be playing with those new players tonight. And he did, and clearly he added performance and confidence to the group of the national team debutants.
So thank you very much for everything in Ireland, and we hope to see you in Poland for our next match. Дякую дуже вам за все.
Дуже дякую Ірландію. Ще раз скажу, що ви нас прийняли дуже добре. Я в місті був, ходив в місті, люди підходили, ваші ірландці, бажали успіху мені, бажали успіху Україні, тому що ви ще прихистили, ще раз скажу, наших жінок, дітей. Всіх дуже вас дякую, Ірландію. І до побачення. Желаю вашій команді далі, щоб все було в них добре.
І скоро побачимося знову з командою. Скоро побачимося знову з командою.
Так, скоро побачимо 14-го у Лодзі, у Польщі.
Coach Petrakov wanted to thank Ireland and all the Irish people for accepting Ukrainian refugees, women, children. Petrakov said that he was walking in the morning, and the Irish people were approaching him and wishing him well, wishing him all the best. And he was truly moved by the Irish attitude towards the Ukrainians. And Alexander Petrikov wants to wish all the best for not only for the Irish team, but for the whole of Ireland. And he's saying that we'll see the Irish on the 14th of this month in Łódź in Poland.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Побачення.
Okay. Дуже вам вдячний. Побачимось десь наступного разу так само.
Translate into Ukrainian, please. That's all right? Sure. Guy, fire away, please. Thank you.
Stephen, there's so much optimism going into this campaign, but 2 defeats now. How are you feeling about tonight?
Well, you know, I'm disappointed to lose the game. I think it's two games that really hung in the balance. You know, we didn't deserve to lose the week against Armenia, for sure. And I think tonight was probably a game that we started really well. You know, we started really well in that game today, first 15, 20 minutes, and we finished strong. I think the game was very stretched. There wasn't many chances for either team. There was a lot of energy consumed by both teams. We didn't consistently pass the ball well in the match. We had spells where we did well. So we're disappointed. The goal itself is a fluke. It's just a free kick that's took a massive jump off the ground into the net. And but Ukraine have some very good players, and you know they're a good team. I know they're missing a lot of players, and they changed players, but they still have a lot of good players. Shane Duffy's hit the bar, and Jason at the end. You know I know we didn't create loads of chances in the match, and neither did they. Mainly they were restricted to long range efforts. So it was a very even game overall, I felt. Very even. And we came out the wrong side of it.
Запитання до тренера збірної Ірландії було. Ми з таким оптимізмом чекали на цей матч, і зараз ми отримали вже другу поразку поспіль. Які ваші почуття щодо цього матчу? На це тренер збірної відповів: власне кажучи, ми не заслуговували на поразку з вірменами, і так само ми не зовсім заслужили на поразку з українцями. Ми досить добре розпочали матч, 15-20 хвилин було досить активні з нашого боку, ми притисли українців, але потім гра вирівнялась. І ми мали певні шанси, але не використали їх. І от українці використали просто чудовий шанс з вільного удару, і таким чином вони здобули перемогу. Це українська команда досить добротна. Молоді гравці показали, що вони палають бажанням виграти. І, власне кажучи, я ще раз скажу, що ця гра була рівною.
As I said, there was so much optimism going into this tournament. Has it come as a surprise to you, the fact that you haven't registered a point so far?
Yeah, no, we would have wanted to do that. We haven't done that, you know, that's for sure. Particularly in the game against that. We always knew Ukraine would be a tough game. They got to the quarterfinals of the European Championships. They're a quality team. We've seen them, their display against Scotland. Obviously, they had different players today. So that was always going to be a tough game. But, yeah, of course, we would want points.
Запитання до тренера збірної Ірландії було, чи ви здивовані взагалі тим, що відбулося сьогодні на полі? І відповідь тренера була такою, що ми хотіли, звичайно, виграти, і ми не виграли. І ми, звичайно, знали, що команда України дуже сильна. І попри те, що молоді гравці сьогодні вийшли на поле, вони показали той самий дух, який ми бачили під час гри України з Шотландією, переможної гри у Глазго. Тому я скажу, що це була дуже складна гра.
Damien Spellman, please.
Stephen, you've mentioned you've had a series of narrow defeats. How do you turn those margins in your favour?
Well, you know, getting that first goal is critical. In the game on Saturday, you know, we had quite a few chances to get that first goal, couldn't quite get it. Today, less so chances. We got behind early on with Chidozie and Cyrus early on after forcing errors through pressing, through high pressing, and getting down the sides of teams, and just need, you know, that selection of pass just has to be a little bit better. Our cross from those areas, and it's not easy because they're a good team, and you know, all of the front three all played well. Like Jason Knight was exceptional for periods. Chidozie was a threat all night. Callum Link to play. It's not easy against the better teams, certainly. So, you know, I think we probably went a little bit more direct than I would have liked, to be honest, today. We did a bit more direct, got the ball a bit forward too quickly at times and needed to build up better than we did. You know, we'll have to address that.
Dan McDonald, please.
Stephen, look, why do you think the team went direct too quickly? Do you think there was a bit of sort of panic?
No, both teams pressed each other high and left, you know, both teams really pressed each other high, and they were both playing the same system, so 3-2-4-1, and that was man to man really. And I suppose you know, Shane went long a lot. We've seen space, and sometimes we got joy from it with Chio, you know, one-on-one, but we're used to building. Obviously, Matt Doherty at times is a bit of a playmaker for us, even coming in, taking the ball in a low block and building through the midfield. But it's just a different, you know, we just have to show a little bit composure in our build in that way, and build better than we did today at times. But I can't fault the players. The players left everything out there, you know, they gave absolutely everything of themselves. Not the players, like, I asked them, like, before the game, you know, to 100% is not enough, you know, we've got to, you know, it's not enough just to give 100%. You've got to sort of extract every ounce of yourself in pursuit of trying to get the result that we needed. And I thought the players gave absolutely everything of themselves there tonight. And, you know, but just we came out the wrong side of a very narrow defeat.
Would you be worried though that those two results, you know, you would build up a bit of momentum, that it would have a sort of a negative impact on the belief and the morale in the group?
No, I'm just raging that we didn't get at least one win there, which in the two narrow games, like, and that's you're right. We did build up a right momentum and belief, and has set us back, and so we just have to dust ourselves down and go again. Obviously, I'll have to replenish, and we need fresh legs in the team for Saturday. It's such a quick turnaround, and the matches have been, that was a real punishing match for everyone, for both teams, in terms of both teams were quite aggressive in how they pressed, and so the game was very stretched, and there's a lot of distance covered by both teams, and so, you know, it'll we have to dust ourselves down and go again for Saturday.
Gavin, please.
Stephen, is this campaign being recalibrated to a relegation battle now after 2 defeats from 2?
No, I don't think we're you know, it's I think you know, we've 6 points to play for in these 2 games. We've 12 points to play for, in fact. So it's premature to suggest that.
And from what you've seen in those 2 games we've had so far, are you confident you can do that?
Do what?
Go on and get those points that you talk about.
Well, there's points to be, you know, points to be won, and that's certainly our intention to try and do that. You know, we could easily have 4 points here, and we don't. And you know, we only have ourselves to blame in that regard. That we didn't, you know, we don't want to get into the habit of losing matches like we did in the last couple. But certainly, you know, Ukraine have some good players, like I must say, and you know, Shaparenko and Sidorcic in the midfield are good players, seasoned players, and when they get control of it, they make you work hard to get it back. But likewise, they didn't really cut us open or have a cutting edge. All their chances were from sort of long range or outside the box. Except the one right in the 95th minute, but 94th minute, but they didn't really cut us open either. So it was a very, very tactical battle. There was a lot of energy consumed. It was. But I would like us to establish greater control in some of the matches that, you know, in that match today than we did, and you know, we'd have aspired to have greater control than we did in the game. But they are the good team. And we didn't play well for sustain our good play for 90 minutes, and that's Ukraine are going to do that to you probably. So we've got to, you know, we're hurting a bit. We're hurting at the moment, and we don't have time to do. We don't have time for that because such is the quick turnaround here. We've got to get ourselves ready for Scotland.
Okay, every question from here on in is embargoed until 11 p.m. tomorrow. 11 p.m. tomorrow. Gavin, please take it away.
Stephen, just judging from how Armenia and Ukraine lined up, have they started to figure out your style and your formation?
Our team's paying us more respect in that regard. I don't know. Like, it's not you know, Armenia maybe obviously set up to defend and with a back five, and I think to be fair to Ukraine, I don't think it was a tactical decision based on how we play. I think it probably suited the players that they had available. It was a better system for the players that they had. So I'd say that was the reason they played the 3-2-4-1, because as I mentioned yesterday, they have played it before last weekend. Before they played Scotland, they played that system in 5 of their previous 7 games. And so I would say that they play 4-3-3 in the last 4 games. The 2 before last weekend, and probably that's because they've so many good midfield players. They have to find space for the three, at least 3 of them. So that's what I would say.
Neil, please.
Hi, Stephen. Is there enough creativity in the personnel you have to trouble kind of mid to high ranking opponents in competitive games, do you feel?
Yeah, like I think we've troubled Portugal, we've troubled Serbia. You know, even though we haven't beaten Portugal or Serbia, you know, we've drawn with them, and we obviously troubled Belgium, and that was obviously recently. But so we have the capacity to do that, and you know, we troubled Ukraine. Like, we hit the bar to equalise, and had a couple of chances that we shot over. So we did trouble Ukraine. So we can't say that we haven't. You know, we troubled them as much as they troubled us. And I know they were missing. We were missing 5 as well, but they were missing more than that. But I think so listen, that's how, you know. Are we striving to get better? Yeah, we are. Like, you know, I think obviously Jason showed a lot of creativity in the Jason Knight in that opening half particularly, and you know, he nearly equalised at the death as well. So all of the players are creative, those attacking players, in different ways, you know, in different ways.
Final 2 questions from Ed and then Paul, please.
Stephen, I suppose just after naming an attacking unit of eight players in the squad, you didn't really go with a natural centre forward in either game. Is that something you need to revisit? And just another thing in terms of selection, would Kevin, would you think you're looking at Mark now in the next game after Kevin's led another goal from distance?
You're a harsh man on the goalkeepers. You know, it bounced about. You know, it was a pretty tough ricochet. You know, it bounced really high and just over the back of the defender. So you don't see it from distance. You only see it when it bounces like that, and it bounces into the top corner. So that's a harsh one. The first question was, sorry? Yeah, well, obviously the balance between Callum, you know, it's a balance in attack. Obviously Chidozie and Jason worked well against Belgium recently. Worked well today, I thought, in the first half. Obviously we switched to 3-5-2 midway, early to midway through the second half. We played 3-5-2 for about 25 minutes when we had Chidozie and Callum as a front 2, and then we had Michael Obafemi and Chidozie as a front 2 for a while, and Chidozie got a knock. But so certainly we went back 3-4-3 when we put CJ on and Jason pushed right on the left side again. So we did that to try and just establish a bit more control in the game for that period, because they were getting on top and we needed to try and wrestle back the initiative. So that's it.
Finally from Paul, please.
Stephen, just 2 quick ones. John Egan, is he out? Will he be out now for the weekend? And secondly, what would you say to fans who may...
Безумовно, в цьому епізоді перед тим ти дещо відтіснив гравця ірландців. Думаєш, там все було в межах правил, справа була лише в офсайді, так?
Я думаю, що була справа в офсайді, тому що я ні руками нічого не грав, я якби просто зіграв корпус. І цей гравець, можливо, навіть не очікував, що я буду заді нього. І він, так якби, можна так сказати, вальяжно впав. І я був вже націлений на ворота, тому получився красивий гол, але, на жаль, його не зарахували.
Ну, взагалі, як наскільки було вам складно в цій грі з перших хвилин, оскільки ви, скажімо так, працювали і 2 дні перед грою, і, в принципі, скажімо так, готуючи, ну, так називаємо умовний основний склад на ігри з Шотландією і з Уельсом, ви теж взаємодіяли разом, тобто ви вже маєте хороші ігрові зв'язки, але все ж таки здається, що було хвилювання в перші хвилини.
Ну, звичайно, в першій хвилині, перші, там, не знаю, 10-15 хвилин були певні хвилювання через те, що все ж таки, як-не-як, перша офіційна гра для багатьох футболістів, які не грали ще офіційних матчів за національну збірну, і було багато молодих гравців. Але, кажу, всі хлопці якби впоралися з емоціями, з хвилюваннями, і Так, ми готувалися до цієї гри по цій схемі, і протягом цих матчів, які ми грали ще з Шотландією і з Вельсом, ми моделювали гру суперника в 5-4-1 чи при атаці 3-4-3. Тобто ми якби були ознайомлені в цій схемі, але ще раз кажу, що перша офіційна гра для багатьох гравців, і було якесь певне хвилювання, але я думаю, що потім з кожним дотиком до м'яча наша гра ставала все кращою і кращою, і хвилювання втікали. І я надіюся, що все, що було задумано, ми сьогодні втілили в гру.
Гарний початок половини справи, але далі ще матчі, невелика перерва, так що рухаємося далі, і знову будуть виклики, і знову будуть серйозні суперники.
Так, звичайно, зараз будемо вже готуватися сьогоднішнього дня до наступного матчу. І я надіюся, що сьогодні, ще раз повторюю, що хлопці себе всі добре проявили, і для тренерського складу буде, можна сказати так, такою, можливо, навіть головною біллю, та кого ставити, тому що я думаю, що всі, хто сьогодні грав, заслуговують і грати в наступних матчах.
Дякую тобі.
Дякую.
Українська асоціація футболу.
Підтримуємо українську армію, український народ та український спорт. Епіцентр. Разом до перемоги.
Єднаймося заради українських перемог. Мільйони українців – одна країна.
Хома – технічний спонсор національної збірної команди України.